On April 30, 2022, the Prime Minister promised that Australians would be better off under a Labor government. Yet evidence before the Senate Cost of Living Committee has revealed Coles, Aldi and IGA are reporting Australians are changing the way they shop because of government cost of living crisis. They're moving from normal brands to home brands and buying less beef, even moving from fresh food to canned food. Wasn't this just another broken promise from this out-of-touch government?
The member for McEwen will cease interjecting. Give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thank you. I thank the member for Monash for his question, and I also thank him for his support for our policy on super. I thank him for being genuine about understanding that people in his electorate, as is occurring around the country, are under real pressure. And that's why when you have $1 trillion of Liberal Party debt, you have to make real decisions about how you manage the economy. And that's why we've made the decision that we did to lower the concession, not remove them, just to make it less of a concession for the 0.5% who have funds in super above $3 million, including the 17 people who have over $100 million and the one person who has around about $500 million in their super. So I have respect for the fact that the member for Monash is prepared to acknowledge that governments have to make decisions to make a difference to people's lives. We on this side of the chamber will continue to stand up for the most vulnerable, which is why we stood up and established the Robo-Debt Royal Commission, which is having such devastating evidence before it.
The Manager of Opposition on a point of order.
Mr Speaker, on relevance, the question is about cost of living. The Prime Minister has ranged over every possible topic. He needs to come to the terms of the question.
The question was about groceries and the price. Order, the cost of living. I'm listening to the Prime Minister carefully and ask him to return to the question. Order. The Prime Minister has the call.
And earlier today, I spoke about the cost of living for one of my constituents who was hit with a massive robo-debt bill, even though he, in his 20s, had contracted cancer. He had expended all of his sick leave and holiday leave. He then went to Centrelink and got a payment in order to get by, in order to buy food at the supermarket, in order to survive. And he got hit with a debt that he did not owe because of the system that was put in place for robo-debt by those opposite. So on top of having to deal with, in his 20s, chemotherapy and cancer, he had to deal with the pressure that was on him and the anxiety caused, which had an impact on his health. That is the real impact that people had. We on this side of the House understand that people are doing it tough. We will put in place practical measures to make a difference to them, but we won't be lectured by those opposite about dealing with the most vulnerable in our community while they continue to defend their robo-debt system but continue to stand up as well for the 0.5%